What in the world are these silver discs doing on my sweet baby calf's head? The little silver circles on Millie's head that you'll see are where she got dehorned last week, or I should say disbudded. So you can see they're actually doing really good. But Millie her mom is double polled, and that means that she has no horns genetically. And her mom, Anna, was supposed to be another double polled. This is harder than I thought. Filming with Millie here is another double polled bull. So we were anticipating a double polled, which means no horned calf. And so for the first 5.5 weeks, that's what we had. We had a double polled calf. And right around the 6-week mark, I was feeding her one day and just loving on her and rubbing on her. And I felt 2 little knots on the top of her head. And I was so perplexed because I was like, when it's not in your thought wheel and you're not expecting it, you don't think about it. And so I started digging around and looking, and sure enough, she had 2 little buttons. And so I really struggled with that for a day or two about what to do. And the reason why we both struggled with that is just because, so Jerseys are naturally horned. They come with horns. We, being the collective as humans, have bred them to not have horns for a couple reasons. And the most important, well, there's 2 most important reasons, which is why we decided to disbud her. And the difference between disbudding and dehorning is just the age, right? So hers were not fully horns. They were not attached to the skull yet because she's still so young. So they were just disbudded with a hot iron. Our vet came out and did it. But the reason we struggled with that for a day or two was because, number one, we don't like to do anything that's might cause pain. And so for the first day, Charlie and I were both like, nope, we're just going to have a horned cow. Like, we're not doing anything to her. This is the way God intended her for her to be. This is what we're doing. And then as time went on and we talked to some people that have had dairy cows longer than we have, and a lot more experience, they were all encouraging us to have her disbudded. And the reason being is that, number one, she is, going to be a milk cow one day when she's old enough. And we handle our dairy cows twice a day at the very minimum. We're in here at least twice a day with them. Even when we're once a day milking, we're in here twice a day feeding them and making sure they get what they need. And so when you add a couple of sharp sticks on the end of a Jersey head, that can be pretty dangerous. And so we had considered that. She's trying to pull, I'm sitting on a hay bale, and you want some of that? Yeah. We had considered that, being a danger for us, when we were just like, we'll just be extra careful. Well, that takes a lot of diligence. We don't have kids, so we weren't worried about anybody else. So we were like, we'll just deal with it. You know what? We'll just be super careful. But anyway, the other thing I think that actually tipped us over into making the decision to go ahead and get them removed was that because our other 2 girls do not have horns, it could potentially pose a risk to them, because Jerseys and maybe all cows, you'll watch them sling their heads, and this is because they're supposed to have horns on the end of them. And so if our one cow had horns and the other 2 didn't, it'd kind of be an unfair fight, right? And so we really didn't want our girls to be in danger for any type of puncture, as far as, an udder could get punctured or an eye. So long story short is we struggled with it, but we made the decision that it would be an easier process because she is still a tyke. and just a little bit of discomfort right now for, a couple of days would cause us a lot less discomfort later on. So, so our vet came out last week in the morning, or maybe around lunchtime, and she went ahead and used the hot iron method to disbud her. Millie did not make a peep. She did not seem to be in any pain. She was a little bit perturbed that we had to hold her down while the vet could do it. And she was a little standoffish for the rest of that day. But by supper time that night, she was fine. And certainly by the next day, she was completely back to normal. So I'm really glad that we made that decision.